Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Waiver Wire live stream for Week 6 in the NFL. If you can believe it, we are here already. Patience is gone. It was running thin last week. Now it's gone. It's time to make some hard decisions. Bye weeks are here. It's time to make sure we get the right guys on our rosters, the right guys off of our rosters, and, of course, the right people in our lineups. And there's nobody better to help me do all of that than my good pal, Derek Brown, D-Bro, the king of pros. Derek Brown, it's great to see you. And also, it is huge news in the NFL. Corey Clement from the Arizona Cardinals is getting worked out. So clearly that is the lead here today. But in all honesty, what does this tell us about the health of the rest of the running back room for the Arizona Cardinals? Is Eno Benjamin in line for potentially a big Week 6?
Yes, I think he could be. I mean, Seattle has been giving up everything to running backs on the ground, through the air, receiving yards, all these different things. Eno, and I almost kind of wish, Joe, we talked about this on the podcast so people can go hear the full breakdown on the waiver show. But I said on the show, I said, look, Eno could be the guy that you sneak through for like a min bid, and then he ends up being the starter, the cheap guy that you get. And now this news kind of pops, and maybe people don't read the tea leaves, considering we don't have the updates on James Conner and Darrell Williams yet. Conner left that game with a rib issue, Darrell Williams the knee issue, but you still could possibly get Eno for cheap. And if that's the case, if we get word both of these running backs are out, Joe, Eno is going to be a top 24, top 20 running back for me this week. Like, who's going to take work away from Eno in that backfield? Who?
It ain't Corey Clement, I can tell you that. We've got all of the insight. We've got all your questions, too. I want to remind you, if you've got a question, drop it in the chat, but you can't drop it like it's hot unless you subscribe to the YouTube channel, so do it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and ask your questions. We'll get to them as much as we possibly can in the next hour, and, of course, we're going to talk some injuries as well. So while y'all are dropping the questions, let's get to some more of the injury issues here to talk about. Damien Harris, let's start here, because this one is exciting. Not so much for Damien Harris, but he's going to miss this week with a hamstring injury, maybe some more weeks as well. Hamstrings can be tricky. This is what we've been waiting for, D-Bro. We've been patient. We've been waiting for Ramondre Stevenson to finally get the full workload. It's here. It's here in Week 6, and it arrived just on time because bye weeks are here, and we need him to get extra. So for all those people that kept the faith, congratulations. Welcome to the show. So the Ramondre Stevenson show, how excited are you to see it in Week 6?
It's Mondre season, baby. I bumped him up to RB9 in my ranks this week. He's RB15 in my rest of season rankings that I just updated on Fantasy Pros. I mean, Joe, what again, we're talking about Eno. Who's going to take work away from Mondre? I mean, Pierre Strong will be active.
I don't know.
And that's it, man. Like, it's not going to be Kevin Harris, J.J. Taylors of the world. Mondre's a 3-down back, and Bill showed no issues almost giving him 30 touches. He rolled up 175 total yards, and this week's matchup, he is going to smash. I don't care who the quarterback is. It could be Bailey Zappi. It could be a practice squad dummy. It does not matter. Mondre is going to eat.
Oh, yeah. Ty Montgomery's on IR still. So Pierre Strong, that's the only other guy because J.J. Taylor's not on the roster anymore. So it's Pierre Strong. That's it. So I don't know. And yeah. So Ramondre, and I'll tell you what, in the DFS world too, I'm super excited because I already started yesterday crafting lineups with Ramondre Stevenson and Derek Brown and I'm sure on Friday afternoon at 2:00 over on the Twitter machine where you can watch it live. If you miss it, go to fantasypros.com. You can check out the show. That DFS show is going to have a whole lot of Ramondre love. I'm telling you right now. He's a good price, like $7K on FanDuel or something like that, if memory serves. It's beautiful.
That's the chalk you eat, baby. That's the chalk you just take a spoon out and you just say,
just like magic spoon. Saquon dealing with an injury from the London games, but he came back into that game, so I don't think we're too concerned with that. Tyreek Hill, though, is a foot injury. He had a walking boot. This is one that always concerns me. I see the walking boot, and I don't see a walking boot as I've talked to you earlier. I see the number 6. Like that's like you're out for 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks. The walking boot has hardly ever been a good thing where someone's like, yeah, I'm in the walking boot, and then the next week I'm back playing. I think people need to be a little bit more prepared for this and a little bit more, I would say, proactive than reactive. So your thoughts on Tyreek Hill and maybe some guys in the short term that can help. Yesterday on the Waiver Wire pod, we talked about Michael Gallup. We talked about Jakobi Meyers. So are those guys good stopgaps at least?
Oh, I think Jakobi Meyers is going to be a fantastic stop. I mean, right now in my early rankings, I've got Jakobi Myers as the top 24 wide receiver, and I
I've
think
got
at
him
his
at
floor,
24. That's funny you said.
yeah,
I
I
literally
got him
have
at
him at
wide receiver
24.
23. So we're lockstep, man. The matchup is fantastic. He is getting elite usage. Like I just wrote this up in the primer, and people could say, "Really, a Patriots wide receiver is elite?" He is elite. He's wide receiver 8 in fantasy points per game, and people still do not give this man respect. Put respect on his name. If he's out there, you need to be picking him up. If you're in deeper leagues, Joe, and yes, I mean, look, I am not a doctor. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but we do have a doctor on staff. So if you're on Twitter and you are not following Dr. Deepak Chona, you need to do that. He gives amazing analysis, tweets that roll out through all of the injuries, effectiveness, and what he thinks and all his thoughts on these injuries every single week. So follow him right now. But if you're in deeper leagues, at least my first gut reaction to this is go pick up Trent Sherfield. He has shown a connection with both these quarterbacks. He's been used religiously, both in the slot, out wide. And I understand this is really, really deep. So if you're talking about 14, 16 team leagues, he's not going to be a pickup or worthy of such in a 10 or 12 team league. But in deeper leagues, yeah, he's worth a stash.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a doctor on the team now because we definitely need him to come check on our producer Chris because he's literally eating giant bowls of chicken soup while trying to run this show right now. I'm worried about him. Go see the doctor. Will you go see him, get some medicine or some? I don't know, poor guy, but he is a soldier. He's here. He's a warrior. He's fighting through it as he always does. That's our producer Chris. I don't want to get emotional, but he does such a great job here, and he does so many great things for us. He's just tough guy, tough as nails. The haircut, I'm not so sure about today, but whatever. We'll figure that out. Let's get to some more of your questions here.
Just
Let's
have hair
things off
envy.
here.
That's all this is.
Well, I mean, if anyone's gonna have it, you and I are gonna have hair envy. Why people
Well,
have hair,
you got it.
shave their head down, I don't understand this, but whatever. All right, let's talk to music. Trade DK Metcalf for Michael Pittman Jr. Which side of this deal you want to be on?
I'll take the Pittman side. I think that yes, most people. And here's the thing: considering their recent production, you probably could get Pittman plus for DK. Looking at these two offenses, I still think that we're looking at median target projections. I still lean to Pittman. Talent's what and what. I understand Matt Ryan has not looked great, but I think Pittman has a higher weekly floor and the ability to earn like a 30% target share. And as good as DK is, he's not going to get that weekly, even with Chef Geno.
Chef Geno. Ashley Pompanio, Conklin, Hurst, or Komet, full PPR. And she says, thank you. Thanks, Ashley, for joining us today. So Conklin, Hurst, Komet. Hurst has been pretty productive.
Hurst,
Conklin
baby.
seeing some volume. Is it Hurst?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's Hurst.
Especially if Higgins is dealing with that injury still, too. I like Hurst more when Higgins is out. Flipside Fishing, which is a show that Derek Brown hosts on Saturday mornings. Flipside Fishing with Derek Brown. Is Garrett Wilson still worth holding on to? I think he's worth holding on to, D, but yes. I told everybody, 2 weeks ago, I said, look, this is the window where Garrett Wilson's value is so high. Zach Wilson's coming back. What if it's not the same? It's not the same. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. So what do? You're going to cut bait or are you going to hold him too?
Oh, no, you hold him. I mean, I've got him ranked as a wide receiver 3 this week. He still leads the Jets in basically every category. Running out of the slot, he's going to get easier matchups. I mean, he's leading them in target share, end zone target share, everything. So no, as bad as Zach Wilson is, and yes, they nerfed the passing volume last week, they're not going to be in spots where they can just lean on their run game religiously. Zach Wilson's going to have to throw the ball in some of these games. So no, do not drop
the third
Garrett
string
Wilson.
Quarterback on the other side of the game every week. So that's not going to happen all the time. Yep. Geo Stir, somebody's offering me JT for Jamar Chase. Who do you want rest of season? Jonathan Taylor or Jamar Chase? This is interesting because both have underwhelmed a little bit. One is dealing with a health issue. That's always the thing that worries me. This is a tough one here. I know a lot of this has to do with roster construction and all that, but it's a vacuum, so let's just take it in the vacuum as it is.
I look, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I mean, I think that it's take JT and run. Looking at the landscape of the running back position, Joe, even if JT is dealing with some things, as long as he's active, we know he's going to get 20 to 25 touches on a weekly basis. Can we say this is possibly the floor for the Colts offense right now, considering what they're doing right now? I mean, it's got to go up. Yeah, it's got to go up. And we talked about this on the podcast. Like, we're really close to pressing the panic button for the Cincinnati Bengals passing attack and their entire offense. So get out of that situation and grab Jonathan Taylor. And I think this also comes down to the fact that I feel better about just fantasy managers' abilities in general, much less our abilities to give wide receiver matchups and plug and plays on a weekly basis versus finding running back volume.
Yeah, look, that is the harder thing to come by. He was the 1-1
Mhm.
player. I would probably lean JT too, but I understand the hesitation. I definitely get it. Lion, Eagle, Griffin. Should I drop Deontay Johnson for Jakobi Meyers? Now, this one's interesting because
Mm.
Deontay Johnson, certainly higher talent wide receiver. The problem is, so far, he and Kenny Pickett haven't connected. We actually just talked about this on the podcast. We just recorded too. Is this something that gets better over time, the more reps they get? Or is George Pickens just the new favorite son and should you just move on?
I've been out on this Pittsburgh Steelers offense the entirety of the offseason, into the season. It's just, even with Pickett under center, the ceiling for this is low. And yes, I understand people are not in on the Patriots offense, but like I
That's
talked
true.
about, Jakobi Meyers is a top 10 fantasy wide receiver right now. I'm not lying. Go check the stats, check the fantasy points. It's true. So yes, in a shallow league, I've got no problem with that, Joe, and that might surprise people. But you take names away from this and you look at production to this point, Myers is lapping Deontay Johnson, just running laps around him in the fantasy streets. So give me Jakobi Meyers.
All right, let's take a quick pause here to talk about the sleeper waiver wire pickup of the week. It was our guy we talked about on the pod yesterday. In case you missed it, it's Kenneth Walker, and we talked about unloading the clip, emptying the tank, all of the fun metaphors when it comes to what you do with the FAAB. So there you have it. It was certainly a good day. 8 attempts, 88 rushing yards, and a touchdown, 14 and a half fantasy points from him there. Look, you know this is an offense that wants to run the football. You know it's DJ Dallas, maybe Travis Homer eventually coming in. I don't see either of those guys really working into that backfield to a degree where we all of a sudden get frustrated with Walker. I do want to ask you this, though. Is Kenneth Walker's theoretical volume right now, or for value, excuse me, right now, the highest it possibly can be? And is that worth cashing in on if you do have Kenneth Walker? Do you look to trade him for a package to get a Leonard Fournette or somebody like that where you're a little bit more
Mhm.
proven and maybe potentially a better offense? You're shaking your head no. So already you're down with this. You hate this already.
Nope.
No, you
I
want
want to
him.
keep Kenneth Walker. And we talked about this on the podcast. Like, Joe, when we've seen this over the last few seasons, rookie running backs or second year running backs with fresh legs, these are the guys that you want to cultivate, you want to have on your fantasy rosters down the stretch. As the volume piles up, these 26, 27, 28-year-old running backs get nicks and bruises. We've seen a lot of these proven running backs stumble either out the gate or their efficiency metrics have tanked this year. So no, give me the younger guy. Give me the production. Like we talked about this, like I firmly believe that Kenneth Walker is a monster in fantasy waiting to be unleashed. He is that good. When I looked at his prospect profile, I was like, look, man, in the draft, this is my year's Javonte Williams. That's how much I loved his ability, his efficiency, and he's proving it at the NFL level. He's top 5 in elusive rating. He's top 20 in yards after contact, breakaway rate. And now inside of a Seahawks offense that is surprising us, shocking us. No, I'm not selling high on Kenneth Walker. I'm going to sit here and buy him where I can.
All right, let's go to Sun God. Half PPR trade AJ Dillon and Christian Kirk for Ken Walker and Pittman.
Mm.
I'd say yes
I
on
would do
this one.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would do that.
You're getting the
Dillon is
number one
underwhelmed,
wide.
man.
Yeah, look, I know Matt Ryan's got some issues, but look, I mean, I think this is a trade you can make. And look,
Yep.
Kirk last 2 games have not been good. We all gave him a pass against the Eagles with the 9 targets and the 2 catches. There's a
Mhm.
weird one last week against the Houston Texans. So I don't know if it's just a bad game or bad preparation, but that one sticks in my craw a little bit. Ed K, trade advice. For some reason, I can't pull the trigger. I received Jonathan Taylor, CD Lamb, and Jeffrey Wilson. That's a big one. I give up Mike Evans and Josh Jacobs. Wait a minute. You're getting Taylor, Lamb, and Jeff Wilson,
Oh!
and you're giving up Evans and Jacobs? Ed,
D
come here.
d
Come here. Let me push the button for you. Come here. I got to push it right here. Boom. I got to push the button. Where is it? Where's the camera? Boom.
Done.
I pushed the button. There it is. I
Done.
pushed the button for you. I made the trade. It's done. Ed, go do this right now. Even if it busts out, it's the right thing to do. Jordan Hale, trade Gabe Davis for Ken Walker. Now, this is an interesting one. We're talking about a weekly floor versus a weekly ceiling of a wide receiver against the running back. So what do you think about?
I'm probably making this deal. Gabriel Davis, the targets have been okay. Now
Sporadic.
he's
Sporadic.
a massive ceiling player when he's healthy. We think he's healthy now. Again, I think that we could find wide receiver volume and play matchups easier on a weekly basis, Joe, than we're going to be able to find running back volume. As much as, like, which one of these guys do you think is a higher chance to be a league winner down the stretch? Gabe Davis or Ken Walker? I lean Walker.
Look, I think a lot of this has to do with the way your team looks. If you've got an abundance of wide receiver and you can afford to trade Gabe Davis for Ken Walker, you do it. And you understand you're giving up a piece. My answer is both. I honestly think both guys, because you saw, Gabe Davis has to touch the ball 3 times and he's just miraculous. And this week he's got Kansas City. And remember the last time he was in Kansas City? I do. It was fun. This is of all the weeks, this is not the week I want to do this. Like he has another game like he did against Kansas City in the playoffs. You could trade him for Jonathan Taylor at this rate. But
I mean, that's a good point.
I get
you hold Gabe Davis and maybe get Kim Walker plus after this week.
Yeah, but then you run the risk again. What if he, look,
true.
the fact that Dawson Knox was out, Isaiah McKenzie was out last week, a lot of things, were opened up for him a little bit more. To me, this is about a need and what you can handle. I think it's good for both sides, which means it's a good trade. Tristan Kirk, not Kristen Kirk, Christian Kirk, different Kirk, Tristan Kirk, his younger brother, AJ Dillon and Dotson for Breece Hall. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That
Breece Hall side. Yeah.
You're getting an RB1 for an underperforming back and a hurt wide receiver. Yes.
Yeah. Marcus Ponce, 80% of FAAB on Ken Walker. I mean, at this point, it's 100, right?
Just
empty the tank.
The clip.
Just do it, because it's not going to come up again. It's not. There's nobody left. There's nobody left that has what Debro's talking about, which is the pedigree of what Kenneth Walker was coming into the league, who now has the entire workload for the rest of the season ahead of him. There's going to be the Eno Benjamins. There's going to be some other guys that pop off here and there. But they're not going to be like this guy, where if he's the dude now going forward, he can handle that. And this is a run first offense. You empty it. More than 80%. Just do it.
Yep.
99%. Nutrition nut. My wide receivers are Davis, AJ Brown, St. Brown, Hill, Lazard, and Pickens. Should I try and upgrade one of my wide receivers? Well, look, I think Pickens is going to get better as the year goes on. A little worried about Tyreek Hill right now. St. Brown and AJ Brown with Gabe Davis is a terrific trio with Hill. I think you're good. I'm not trying to upgrade there. I think you're fine. Just look, Pickens hopefully can help you out with Tyreek Hill being out. But if you want to package Tyreek Hill and Pickens and move up to that next level, like Diggs or Chase, I ain't mad at that, especially with the foot injury.
Yeah. I was going to say, you've got such a wealth of wide receiver options. Honestly, I'm kind of curious what your running back room looks like. And I think you should just move Tyreek Hill and Pickens and try to get a good running back. That's kind of how I'm attacking it.
Let's go John Rivera. Lamar versus the Giants or Brady versus the Steelers? I mean, you got to play Lamar every week. The rushing floor is too much. And look, I like Brady this week against the Steelers. I think he's QB7 for me. Do you have Geno above Brady this week? Just out of curiosity. I was struggling with that.
No,
I don't either.
Not.
I've still got Brady one spot ahead, but they're back to back.
I've got Brady at QB6 and Geno is at QB9.
I got him at 6 and 7 right now. Almost 6s and 7s, baby. All right, let's talk about the jersey giveaway, because we're giving away a Stephon Diggs autographed jersey thanks to our great friends at pristineauction.com. The Buffalo Bills' own wide receiver 1. That jersey can be yours. All you got to do is be a subscriber of Fantasy Pros. So go subscribe right now, like the stream, subscribe, and make a comment below. That's it. That's all you got to do to be entered into the contest. So do those things. Drop a comment, drop a question, go be a subscriber. Stephon Diggs jersey could be yours. And don't forget, turn that little bell on till it goes ding for notifications so you know if you are the big winner of the jersey. Let's go to our next big winner here. This is Prime is Beasting. I'm not sure what that means. 10-team PPR Superflex. I want to trade Deontay Johnson and Melvin Gordon. What do you think I could realistically get for that? Well, I think what you're trying to do here, I don't think you can get Ramondre Stevenson, but I'd be kicking the tires and trying right now. Like, that's the first person that popped in my mind. Who can help you the most in the next 2 weeks? That kind of a player. Whereas these guys, again, I feel like this is dead weight. So who would be your target? Ramondre would be my number 1 guy off the top of my head. Christian Kirk would be an interesting buy low off the 2 bad weeks. That would be another guy that I would consider. A package with Brian Robinson and something else. Here's Gordon. Here's the RB1. Give me Brian Robinson, who's still coming back from an injury. that I would do with something else. How about you, D? Anything popped into your head?
I think if you're looking at like an upgrade with some substantial and we talked about this well, at least I tried to spread the good word to the people of Twitter. They just still don't want to hear it. But Travis Etienne, I think, has upside that we still haven't seen. So I think
That's a good
trying to
one.
get him and a wide
Great one.
receiver in a trade, if you want to try to package up, and maybe this doesn't get you all the way there, but at least like you're knocking on the door of a player coming off a down game, quarterbacks coming back, maybe you can get up to CD Lamb. Maybe that's possible.
That's
It's
a tough
hard.
sell for
It's
those
hard.
two.
Yeah.
But I like the Travis Etienne. I like where you're at with that one. Maybe Etienne and Godwin on the cheap or something. I don't know if you can pull that
Or
one off. But
Sutton. I mean, I know you're out on the Broncos, but Sutton
I
has
am
been the
out.
only good wide receiver there. Even at baseline right now, Sutton's getting 8 to 9 targets a game.
Look, I don't
He's still
hate
a
it.
top 20 wide receiver.
It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. It's an upgrade. And look, somebody needs Melvin Gordon, especially with the injuries, especially with the bye weeks. Right now, somebody's in need. This is the week to trade Melvin Gordon. I traded him last week when everything was still theoretical. That was the real time, but this is the second best time now. Let's go to Travis Johnson. Should I drop Tyler Allgeier or Khalil Herbert for Jakobi Meyers?
I think that
Allgeier,
you're probably looking at Allgeier. And I was actually surprised by his usage. So when I looked into him writing up the primer, he ran a route on 60% of dropbacks. The problem with Allgeier is, he was the easy primary, but the Atlanta Falcons are they're second worst in target share to running back. So they're just not throwing to the running back. So he's basically ugly Damien Harris right now, and that's just not good enough, man. I would hold Herbert, who's still a high-end handcuff, and grab Jakobi Meyers.
Yeah, drop Allgeier for Meyers. That's the move. Bones chillin'. Jameson Williams, how good will he be? Wide receiver 2. Look, the upside's there for it. This is a team with bad defense. They're going to have to throw the football. Add him now. Another guy we talked about on the show yesterday. Add him now. Just do it. Nick G. Dobbins versus Miles Sanders moving forward. Who would you rather have rest of season? J.K. Dobbins or Miles Sanders?
I want the guy that actually could get targets out of the backfield, and he's in the better offense. Give me Miles Sanders.
I hate agreeing with you on this, but I do. Ron wants to know, cut Cam Akers.
Yes. Last week was the last
week you
hurrah.
had some hope.
I did.
I did talking about
it. Was a smash matchup. Like, Dallas has been giving up all kinds of production to running backs. They're bottom 5 in explosive run rate. And what did Cam Akers do? Nothing.
Yeah.
He did nothing.
Explosive
This offensive line's terrible. Like, no, it's time to just cut bait. Bye-bye.
Oh, he was explosive. All right. Just not the right kind of explosive. Star Wolf, is it time to drop Chase Edmonds? Boy, these are really... Do you feel triggered after these two questions back to back?
I feel like they're coming for my throat with this one, but it's true though, man. Like, it's time to drop Cam Akers and it's time to cut bait with Chase Edmonds. He's lost his job to Raheem Mostert.
Alex Hernandez, Josh Allen's week 7 bye replacement, Zach Wilson or Jimmy G? I would take Jimmy G and
I'd take Jimmy G.
Just grin and bear it. MSH, Walker is available for me to grab. Do I drop Gibson, Dillon, Connor, or Robinson Jr.? From that group, it's got to be probably Gibson, right? Especially since he's catching punts now.
Yeah, it's Gibson.
Buy low in Dynasty. I'm telling you right now, buy low in Dynasty on Gibson. It's going to cost you like a 3rd round pick to find out when he goes somewhere else what he can do. Nolan Weiss, do I drop Dalton Schultz? I think he can, especially because he re-injured the knee injury. I think, it's fine.
Yep.
Live in the now. You got to win. Larry Johnson. Oh, look at this. Larry Johnson.
Hello.
Former NBA All-Star. This is very exciting. Should I drop Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, James Conner for any waiver picks? Well, I mean, it depends on what's out there.
Depends on what you're getting.
If Kenneth Walker is out there, yes. I would not be dropping Jamal Williams anytime soon. Even though Swift is supposed to come back, it's still not a good drop right now. Herbert. Would you drop Herbert or Conner for Walker? You would, right? Yeah, of course.
So
Herbert probably, right?
The funny name about this is actually going through the Lions' usage of the running backs last week. I would actually probably drop Jamal Williams, and I'll say that because Craig Reynolds got better usage than him last week, Joe. Like, he got more of the rushing attempts. It was weird, man, but like that, it's concerning. Jamal Williams' role has not changed that much. Like, he's still a sub 50% snap player. We think Swift is going to come back healthy. I mean, maybe he still factors in as the goal line back, but honestly, out of these guys, I think you're kind of stuck between Williams and maybe Connor, just because he cannot seem to stay healthy, and
Now,
the Cardinals' offense has sucked.
Connor was my biggest fade coming into this year. It's just it was so good last year. Everything, and I had shares of him last year, so it kind of hurt
Yeah.
me, deeply to do that to him. But just 18 touchdowns is just one of those things. But that's not going to come back around again. Matthew Griner. Hey guys, do I drop Gerald Everett for Taysom Hill? Debro, this is a
No.
trap. You believe why?
I believe it's a massive trap, and I get people are going to chase the fantasy points. They're going to look at the box score. First of all, I have no clue why Taysom Hill's actually eligible to be a tight end. He ran 3 routes last week, Joe. He got 9 rushing attempts. I get he rattled off 100 yards and all the touchdowns in the world. I don't trust Taysom Hill. I am not going to spend fab on him. I'm not. Like, this feels like a giant, massive trap. Like, when would you ever feel comfortable starting Taysom Hill in any spot? I don't. No, I'm not dropping Everett for Taysom Hill.
Well, last week was the week to plug and play him, and if you didn't, you missed it. I mean, look, if Winston's out again and you want to go, I don't hate it. A tight end at this point is just trying to find some value. Look, there's Kelsey, there's Mark Andrews, and then there's nothing pretty much.
Everett's
Like,
been so good to this point. He had one
yeah,
down game, and
he had
people
one
are
down
like,
game.
"Oh,
I'm
do I
not gonna.
drop him?" Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hunter got offered Zeke, James Conner, and Terry McLaurin for CD Lamb and ATN. What do you think of this deal?
He's giving away CD Lamb and Etienne.
Yes, I don't
Oh,
like this
hell
at
no.
all. I hate this
No.
deal.
No,
Hunter, don't do this.
this is a bunch of garbage for your good players. No, you auto reject this.
Decline.
Yes.
Decline. Nick G. Trade Garrett Wilson for Raheem Mostert. I think you can.
I think you can. It depends on what your
Mhm.
wide receiver and running back room looks like. Like, if you need a low end RB2, high end 3 to plug in, I don't hate the move.
Tyson P. Would you trade Devontae Smith for Tyler Lockett? Now, this is interesting because
Mm.
I feel like Tyler Lockett's wide receiver 8 right now on the year. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't realize that. But I feel like it's a false sense of security. Both these guys are sporadic. Like, just because one's run has been better lately than the other, this is a big issue for me, this one. I would tend to lean towards Devonta Smith in the better offense and just kind of go
Yep.
that way because this Geno Smith thing has been fun. The Seahawks have been fun, but eventually Cinderella turns into a pumpkin, don't you think?
I agree. I want Devonta Smith, and I think he's actually a really good buy low because his production has been trending up. We think the Eagles' offense is better, and we
Mm.
still have not to this point, Joe. We have not seen a team push the Eagles, like make them. All their production has been in the first half of games. We haven't
Mm.
seen the Eagles being pushed to like go nuclear for a full 4 quarters. I think Devonta Smith, his role is trending upwards, and I'd much rather have him over Tyler Lockett. And yeah, would any of us be surprised if we look back in 3 or 4 weeks from now and Geno turns back into just being
Geno?
Geno
I
Smith?
was gonna say it
Like,
just turns back into Geno.
yeah,
Here's the only thing, D, is that Lockett's schedule is, I mean, he's got the Cardinals twice, the Giants, and the Chargers.
mhm,
Like, those are some good matchups right
yeah,
there.
they are.
I would say if you are a team that is got 2 wins, then maybe you want the Tyler Lockett. Like, maybe you could just kind of bank that a little bit for these next few weeks. It's the only caveat I would give. If you are a team that's got a good record, though, I'd rather keep Devonta Smith. That's my breakdown of those two guys. Chad Mandel, is Alexander Madison droppable? Yeah, if somebody's on the waiver wire that can help you in your lineup, yeah, I think so.
I'll give context to this. If you have Dalvin Cook, no. But if you don't have Dalvin Cook, then yes.
Gentry Silver, trade chat around DJ Moore. I'm not buying it, by the way.
No,
Seems
he's
to
not
be
going anywhere.
elevating his status at the moment. What logical wide receiver or tight end for swap? See, Gentry
Eh.
Silver is trying to be cagey here and trying to make a move. I like that. So, who do you want to buy here at the wide receiver position? Who are some guys here that you feel like would you buy on? Let's see. We talked about. Would you buy on somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown right now? That feels like a good one
Yep.
potentially.
I would do that, and I talked about. I think that Devonta Smith is undervalued. I think that Chris Olave has been getting a lot of targets, but he's also coming off the injury and a down
Mm-hmm.
game. I think that he's a good candidate. We haven't seen a big blow. Well, I take that back. We've seen one really, really good game out of him. Is there some meat on the bone to be had for maybe going out and getting Al Lazard? What are your thoughts with that?
Uh I feel like you were getting look, he wants wide receiver or tight end. If you were getting Lazard and Freiermuth, or Lazard and Hayden Hurst or something like okay. Or if you're getting the two pieces you need to be in your lineup, I'm fine with that.
I
Uh,
think it,
but DJ Moore, look, DJ Moore, I think over the last 2 weeks in terms of volume starting to go his way, like the productivity's not, but now it's PJ Walker playing quarterback. Say what you will about that. I don't know, man. I think that if you take what you can and you get out, would you rather have Michael Thomas or DJ Moore rest of the season?
Oh, geez, it's Michael Thomas. Easy.
See, I think you can get Michael Thomas for him right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And I would say I would be more apt to go after a wide receiver because the landscape of tight ends is so terrible.
So
Anybody that
bad.
has like one that's producing at a decent level is not going to get rid of them. Like
I mean, if
I
you can
wouldn't
get
be
Njoku
trading.
and Lazard, that's a deal I would
Yes.
make for DJ
Yes.
Moore.
I was going to say
That's the deal.
that was the name that just popped in my head. I was like,
Mhm.
if I got David Njoku and you offer me DJ Moore, I would not be giving you Njoku, but if you can pull that deal off,
Right.
absolutely.
Robert Lavelle, who would you keep in the long run? Tyler Conklin or Evan Ingram?
Oof. Let's go Ingram.
Okay. Cole V, what trade value does Najee Harris have? Well, we heard Mike Tomlin talking about Jalen Warren getting more work, so that ain't good. I don't think we can like that. Najee's in a weird spot right now. I don't think his trade value is very high. So what you're trying to do, like if you're going to build a package around Travis Etienne, that's the kind of move I'd want for Najee Harris. I think you could pull that move off, D. I really do.
Yeah, I think you could do that. Like maybe an ETN and again bringing up Lazard. Another good buy low that I think that we could see, and I'm just totally out. Like at this point, I think it could actually be a plus for us to see Desmond Ridder because we can't get any worse quarterback play than Marcus Mariota. Drake London is a really good buy low.
It's so good in my ears when you say that.
I hear you. Okay, Marcus Mariota sucks. Let's go with that. I'll just tie a bow on it. But Drake London's efficiency, everything screams that if Drake London just gets a small volume boost, he could go to the moon. So I think if you're looking for other good wide receivers to buy low on right now, Drake London is a fantastic one.
He is. I would say this too. Here's a question. Najee Harris or Breece Hall rest of season, who would you rather have?
Breece.
Don't you think in most casual football leagues you can pull off Najee Harris for Breece Hall?
Yeah,
and someone would be like, oh, I just had the highway robbery. I just got Najee Harris for Breece Hall.
I think you could do that, especially if you put in, even if you lumped in, say like you've got wide receiver riches and you're saying, I've got a low end wide receiver 3 guy. I'm going to give you him and Najee. And people say, oh, yes, I'm getting Najee. Yes, you could probably pull that deal off. And I would be
I think
loving
you can trade Najee and get Hall plus in most leagues still.
You maybe could. I mean, we still got the draft equity and the name value of it.
Sometimes the perceived value of number 1 picks in reality, like we are in expert leagues, we are in analyst leagues, and everybody's super sharp. I'm not saying like people aren't playing in sharp leagues. Of course they are. But that first round value sticks to a player for a very long time. Like you should kick the tires on that kind of a deal. Or Dameon Pierce plus for Najee Harris. Give me the guys at all the volume, even if it's not quality. I just want all of it. Raw WB, full PPR. Should I trade Jeff Wilson for Drake London? I think that's a cagey trade to make now.
Yes.
With the looming Eli Mitchell in the next couple weeks. Yep. I think that's fair, but I'm with you. Give me Desmond Ridder right now. I'm ready for it. I think you might see it this week. I honestly do. Ryan Muckler. Should I trade Chase for Keenan Allen and James Robinson? No.
Don't do that.
No. Don't do this. You're trading a premium player for a guy who's 31 and hurt, can't get on the field right now with the hamstring, and James Robinson, a player who's starting to last couple weeks go in the wrong direction in terms of volume. It's a bad deal. Yep. Neil P. Trade Saquon for Kyler and Ken Walker. Is that enough for Saquon?
No, it's not even close to enough for Saquon. At worst is
in a super flex. I'd consider
top 2 running back, like a top 2 running back for the rest of the season.
Super flex, I consider it. That's the only one.
I mean, Saquon is a top 2 RB. You know, I would be having to get, put it this way, it would have to be super flex or in a casual league, I would have to be getting a much better quarterback in return than Kyler.
All right. One of the great things we have here, Fantasy Pros, don't forget, are all the tools. And some of you I know listen to the shows, you watch the shows on YouTube, but you still haven't gotten to use the tools. And there's still plenty of time where the tools are super useful to you at My Playbook. So go check them out. Sync your leagues today. Let us help you navigate the waiver wire. Let us help you make some trades. Let us help you set your lineups. Look at the projections. Look at the things we have. We've got an incredible suite of tools here at Fantasy Pros. Go download the My Playbook app right now. It's on Apple. It's on Google. It's everywhere. It's fantastic. Or you can just go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Check it out there. It is the #1 tool suite for a reason. I'm telling you, I know a lot of you think, oh, well, I'm smart enough to get this done. And look, some of you are. But let's be honest, even smart people have teams that go awry, and we could all use some extra help. My Playbook is here to help you, and go to fantasypros.com/offers to go get 6 free months of it, because you can go do that, go make a couple wagers, do whatever you want to do, and then get all the tools and then get all the access to the Discord. And the next thing you know, your life is better and your teams are better and you're kicking everybody's butt. Let's get to some more questions here. Let's get to Kev Gorton. Do y'all think Jared Goff's game versus New England was an outlier? Goff or Geno going forward? Now, I believe on the Sunday morning live stream, go on a nice monologue about how this Sunday was going to be the trap game for Jared Goff. This is the classic Jared Goff lay a turd game outside in New England against the Patriots, throwing some more sophisticated looks at him. And of course, they got shut out. So that happened. That's done. But going forward, I'm still going with Goff over Geno. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but I'm looking at the weapons. I'm looking at that defense that's so bad. Not that the Seahawks defense is any good. I think it's been a fun run here for Geno, but I just don't know if it can sustain. I know Jared Goff has warts. We've seen them before. Where are you going? Goff or Geno rest of season?
I think they're in the same tier. Pressed, I will go with Jared Goff, only because I think that his complement of weapons is better overall. Like a healthy Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'm equating into this,
Swift,
Joe, that
Williams,
Jameson
Hawkinson.
Williams coming back and elevating his ceiling on a weekly basis. And
It's a good
the
offense.
Lions defense is even worse than the Seahawks. Like,
yes,
they have allowed the most points and yards in the NFL. So the Lions are going to have to keep putting up points on a weekly basis for the rest of the year. So that's going to push Jared Goff into shootouts, possibly.
All right, next one here. Matt wants to know, trade Dalvin Cook and Gibson for Walker. Dalvin Cook and Gibson for Kenneth Walker. No, you're not trading Dalvin Cook. No. Armando Z, drop Khalil Herbert or DJ Moore for Jakobi Meyers.
I would be dropping Khalil Herbert.
Okay. Moy wants to know, I put in a FAAB bid for Kenneth Walker. Who should I drop? Antonio Gibson or Cam Akers?
Either. I mean, really, they're the same boat.
I
think in a pinch,
Gibson. In a pinch, who do you like? It's Gibson right now.
Gibson.
Okay. Raymond Wells, I have Schultz and Freiermuth. Should I trade one for value or keep both? If trade who, for what? You have Schultz right now. He doesn't have any value because he's hurt again.
Yeah.
So just drop Schultz. No one's gonna take him, and just roll with Freiermuth and go pick up something off the waiver wire. Anthony Ramos, our boy Anthony's here. I have Swift, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor. Should I trade any, and what values do I look for them? I would not trade any of these guys. They've all underperformed. I'm holding tight and hoping for a big run here because you're getting them all healthy in week 7, theoretically. So
don't trade them, because basically if your wide receivers are even passable, if all of these guys hit their stride, you're beating people in the flex on a weekly basis.
There's one wide receiver who's very passable. You can pass to him all day. It's Stephon Diggs. And we've got a Buffalo Bills Stephon Diggs jersey for you. That's right, for you. We're giving it away. Just giving away free stuff here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're a subscriber. That's how you enter this contest. Again, an autographed Stephon Diggs jersey. Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber, you're going to get entered into this contest. If you comment on the video, you ask a question, you're a subscriber. You like the stream too. You might as well like the stream. Maybe get you a little bit of perk. You know what I'm saying? No, you know a guy. You like the stream. Maybe the Stephon Diggs jersey. You get a little closer to it. I'm just saying. But in all seriousness, Stephon Diggs jersey, just for hanging out, watching the show. Go do it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go click the bell for notifications too, so you know if you're the big winner. And if you're the big winner, then congratulations. Welcome to the Fantasy Pros family. It's nice to have you. We appreciate you. We've got some more time here. We've got some more questions. Let's go to Joey Peapot, which I'm not sure what that's all about. But drop Khalil Herbert or Allgeier for Kenneth Walker. Definitely Allgeier. This is easy.
Yep.
Frank Allen, is trading Dameon Pierce for Amon-Ra St. Brown a good trade? Yeah, it's fair based on need. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
This is from Brandon Maxon. Mark Andrews RB trade value. So let's say you're the one person that does have more than one good tight end and you want to upgrade. How high up the trough can you go with Mark Andrews here at RB? Swift?
I think.
Would you want Mixon?
I don't want Mixon. No.
Okay.
I think the move is not to try to go up for just one guy. I think the move is to try to go after somebody, like, basically the perfect scenario in this would be find the team that picked out Kenneth Walker off of waivers, go after him, and maybe
Plus.
they have somebody else, like maybe they have Walker
Damien
and Pierce,
Robinson.
Walker and Breece, somebody like that, like get yourself two guys that are on the way up to help your lineup even more than just saying, I want an RB1.
It's clever. I like where you're at. Brandon Maxon, good luck with that. All right, let's go to Jared Stubelt. Stubelt, PPR, Aaron Jones for Swift. What side of that deal you want to be on?
I want Jones.
I want Swift. Why do you want Jones?
I want Jones because he's taken over more of the backfield, and surprisingly enough, A.J. Dillon has been extremely ineffective to this point. His efficiency metrics have been
that
bad.
offensive line is bad. Can we talk about the offensive line of the Packers being
Aaron
bad?
Jones didn't have any problems, Joe. He's one of the most efficient running backs in the NFL right now.
It's fair. It's
Just
fair.
saying.
Aaron Rodgers isn't playing well either. Brandon Bond dropped Jerry Jeudy for Jakobi Myers. Oof. This is a tough one.
I'll look at both of their values being relative. I'll say, yeah, I
trade Jeudy. I think Jeudy still has trade value and name brand recognition. Trade Jeudy, add Myers, trade Jeudy and something else and upgrade somewhere. Yep. Like sometimes it's not just the one for one. Sometimes you got to think outside the box and go, okay, I shouldn't drop this guy to the waiver wire because when I do, he's going to get picked up right away. So take this guy, pair him with somebody else, then go pick up Jakobi Meyers. And then you had a really nice deal where you got a better player than Jeudy and you got to add Myers also. Mario Sierra, trade Njoku for Garrett Wilson, full PPR.
No, I want Njoku. No. He's one of the few tight ends that, I mean, look, Deshaun Watson comes back. We still haven't seen a lot of touchdowns from Njoku. You marry that with the volume, he's got top 3 upside at the position.
Wouldn't you do it if you had, let's say, Goddard or Ertz or somebody like that at tight end too? Then you could do it.
I mean, if you have Goddard or Ertz, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm more likely to say if you have Goddard, Ertz, I'm still kind of because he's not doing anything with the volume he's getting either.
Yeah, I know, but they're all so bad. I'll tell you what, sure. I told you I wanted to move this year to leagues where you just play one running back and then 3 wides and 2 flex. I think we might end a tight end. I think next year we might have to just go to that weird format where you go 3 wide receivers, a running back, and then no tight end, just 3 flex and just let people do what they want because tight end is bad. You got to evolve. Scott Smith, rest of season, Geno or Cousins? It's Cousins for me. I'm not gonna. I can't do this. I can't.
Yeah, it's Cousins.
It's fun. It's fun. It's great. What did Billy Madison say to that kid when he's shaking his face? Stay as long as you can. Cherish it. Right? And he's telling about how terrible high school is. Mm-hmm. This is what you do with Geno Smith. You play him as long as you can. Stay there with Geno for the Cardinals twice. You got 2 times. You got to play the Cardinals. And then you can move on. Next guy here, Brendan Tully. Just traded away Knox and Michael Carter for Kyle Pitts. Who won? You won.
Oh, Pitts. Yeah, you won.
You won.
Yeah,
just hope that Marcus Mariota is shown the bench soon. Kendall, trade David Montgomery for Hopkins. I need wide receiver help. Yeah, I'm good with this.
I'm fine with it. Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I like this. This is the time to be trading for Hopkins or trading him away, depending on what your situation is. Mm-hmm. Xavier, should I trade Tyreek Hill for Jamar Chase?
No.
I don't like the foot injury.
I don't like the foot injury, but if that comes back, he's not going to miss a lot of time. Tyreek Hill has been balling out this year.
But if it comes back and he misses time, D, you've missed the window.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a risk. It's a risk.
I know the Cincinnati Bengals have struggled, and I know the schedule is tough. Mm-hmm. I will do this. I will take Jamar Chase. I will plant the flag on this one.
If the injury wasn't a thing, though, would you still stay with Hill?
I would have stayed with Hill, but once you get hurt, once it's a foot, when the guy is a speed guy in the first place, it's not like Tyreek Hill is the Cooper Kupp of route runners. Let's be honest. I mean, come on, he's not. He's speed guy. He gets by people, and God bless him. He's fantastic, but Jamar Chase, I still think has play. I think the Bengals are just in that weird place right now. I do think they can get better. Omarion, I know this is a defense question. Well, you came to the right place. I love defense. Do I drop the Saints D for the Ravens D? The Ravens have the Jets this week. The Saints have, again, just trying to remember.
Saints have the Bengals. I would
Hmm.
go Ravens.
Yeah, I would take the Ravens too. Yeah, Zach Wilson turnover ratio. I also think that the Ravens secondary finally, got their what together this past week, and they finally started
Yeah.
playing up to their abilities. I don't know what's been going on with them to start
Yep.
the year. I know it's an older group. Humphrey has been hearing it.
Well,
Peters, all those guys have been hearing it, but they're finally starting to play better, and that's been the big problem. And they're getting to the quarterback a little bit too, finally.
I mean, we talked about this in the DFS episode last week. I said that the narrative is wrong on the Ravens secondary. Humphrey and Peters are playing fantastic. They have issues versus the slot. That's it. So yes, you're getting in low on the Ravens defense, which I think is an ascending unit. They're playing really
By the
well.
way, please tell me that you had the Cowboys D with me on DK last week, because you know how much of a good, because that was so money in the bank. Well, they were 2,300, 2,500 last week. Oh,
yeah, they were super cheap.
So good. Mwah, everybody against the Rams. Let's go. Give me the Carolina Panthers this week against the Rams. That's right. Money line, baby. Let's go. Jesse Banda. Should I trade Hopkins for Chase straight up? If you can,
Yes,
but I don't think you can.
You won't be able to.
You could
though.
try, Jesse. Good luck with that. If you do, you're my hero.
Yeah,
Lucas
seriously.
Baker, Kenneth Walker, or Gerald Everett in the flex. It's Kenneth Walker. Come on. You can't put a tight end over a running back in the flex. I mean, unless that tight end is Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce. Like that, you can't.
Walker's a top 15 running back this week. No way. Yes.
All right, let's do a couple more of these here. Shelbo, how do we feel about Gus Edwards' return on the horizon? I'd stash him in a deeper league with bye weeks coming. I'd stash him. But you're right. That face is probably more appropriate. Go ahead, do the face again. Yeah. Lucio Enriquez, thoughts of Khalil Shakir? Hey, if you're in a 14-team league and he's going to play again this week, then he's worth an ad. I mean, we talked about this on the pod yesterday. If you're in a deeper league, you can add him. He's a good player.
I mean, I think he's a fine stash.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a 10-team league thing, 12 even, unless you've just been crushed
super deep
by
benches or
injuries or something. Carlos Morales, what wide receiver can I get for Josh Jacobs?
You better be aiming for the top 10, top 12. I think that you're probably...
Would you get Jalen Waddle? That would be the one that popped in my head right away.
This, again, I'm going to go back to the CeeDee Lamb. I think that you could pull that trade off with as good as Jacobs has been and Lamb coming off a down game. I think that, you know what? Another guy coming off a down game, Joe, but he looks fantastic right now. Go try to get Mike Evans. I think that's fine. You could pull off.
Yeah, Evans. I think it's got to be in that fringy group. So it's Mike Williams, it's Waddle, Evans.
Or AJ Brown. AJ Brown has not had a blow-up game since week 1. AJ Brown.
I don't know if you could pull that off.
Really? With Josh Jacobs, he's coming off 2
it's funny
games in a row.
The only my most important league, right? The big expert, Jake Seeley flex league. I have Josh Jacobs because they let him slide to. He's my third RB, and I already lost Swift and Javonte Williams on that team. Thank goodness I had Josh Jacobs. At the time, I felt so gross doing it. But I was like, look, I've got to take depth. Sometimes you just got to price and force and draft.
A statement I never thought we'd say is thank God I have Josh.
It's a statement in a learning tree moment that sometimes you have to price and force in drafts. When a player drops too far, you have to say, is he the bell cow back? Yeah, for now. Let's just go with it and see what happens. And if you do that, you're doing okay. Let's go to one more here. Claire Bouchard, hurting badly at RB and deep at wide receiver. Half PPR, trade Deontay Johnson for Brian Robinson. I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it, but I think that you should be able to get more than just Brian Robinson.
Can you? Deontay has not been good, and
just based off a name value. I mean, it's not like Brian Robinson had a smash game, first game out of the starting blocks. So I think you probably can. Now the question is what.
If you're watching the stream, like the stream. We appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, youtube.com/fantasypros. Go do it now. Like the stream, share, subscribe, maybe win a jersey. Check out my playbook. Download the app. Make your life easier. Help us help you with your fantasy decisions. That's what you want to do. Derek Brown's got to go pick up some kids from the school. Hopefully his. I'm sure they are his. Come on, kids. We'll just carpool everybody home. He's such a good guy, just taking everybody around there. I got kid getting off the bus here too in a second, so we're gonna hop off the live stream, go be parents for a little while. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope we answered your questions, And we'll be back, of course, to do it all again on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the YouTube channel. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Derek Brown, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.